Hi, my name is Corey Quinn, and I'm the founder of MyCoachMatch.com. We're a site that matches coaches with clients based on fit. I'm here with Pauline Haynes. She's a personal life coach. She specializes in working with women who are making a transition from one life stage to the next. Welcome, Pauline.
Thanks, Corey. It's a pleasure to be here.
Pleasure to have you. So could you share with us, why are you a coach?
I think I can put it very simply, and I'd say it's because I care, because I like people, because I'm curious about people, and because I have this passion to make a difference, to serve. And I think it all started when I think for about 10 years I worked with people living with AIDS. And it gave me an opportunity of being in a very intimate setting with people who were, oftentimes they were at the end of their lives, but they didn't feel like they had stopped living. They were in a place of almost bliss. They were in a place of joy, of fulfillment, of letting go, of giving over, of just being very centered in who they were. And I felt such a tremendous honor in being with them at such a vulnerable time in their lives. And I was able to listen to them, to hear the joys of their lives, to hear the sorrows of their lives. And that made me realize that it was something I could do. And after 10 years, and lots of people I worked with passed away, and then I needed to take a break. Contrast that with working in a corporation, and for a long time I did cultural awareness training. And what I noticed with people in corporations is that they never take all of themselves to work, because everybody has to wear a mask, and the mask has to do with, how do I fit into the culture of this corporation? And oftentimes, if they're in sales, it's about, how do I upsell the next client? How do I bring in more revenue? If it's in production, it's how do I do this quicker, faster, more efficiently? And if they are doing anything creative, it's usually within the confines of the company culture. And it's not that they don't enjoy their job, but it's almost as if all of them couldn't be at work. For instance, it didn't matter where they were raised. It didn't matter what their cultures were. It didn't matter what their socioeconomics were. It didn't matter what their politics or their religion were. All those things had to be left at the door. And so when they came into work, they had to be at work based on, how do I fit into this culture? And because I did that, people would come up to me and say, wow, I'm so glad that you brought some awareness about what it is to be who I am, but I can't be who I am at work. And so there's always this part of them that says, I want more, and I'm dying inside, and I really want to feel fulfilled. I want to be full of who I am authentically, but they didn't have the opportunity of doing that. And it's from listening to those people over and over again that I realized that our corporations are not set up to actually benefit the individuals. Now, this is not to say that corporations are bad. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that what it is that we're all needing and seeking as human beings is to have that sense of fulfillment. And it's because of that sense of fulfillment and the lack that existed in some of the corporations with which I was teaching that I realized that there's a need for people to just connect on a human level. So that, in a word, is what got me into coaching.
That's wonderful. That's great.
Thanks.
So when should someone come to see you as a personal coach?
I think people should come and see me when they are going through a time in their lives when they realize that the way my life is right now isn't the way I want it to be. And I believe that every one of us can get to that stage when something just isn't working. We know what we want. We don't exactly know how to get there, but we know that business as usual isn't it. It's sometimes when you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, you have that goal. Let's face it, each and every one of us, we have dreams. We have dreams to do, be, or experience something more. And whatever the constraints are, sometimes we get stuck in that place that we think we can't do any better. And sometimes we know the answers. The truth is, most of us know exactly what it is that we need to do.
Could you share with me, Pauline, who is an ideal client for you?
The ideal client for me are the people who are in transition, the people who are wanting to streamline their lives. Lives may be kind of spinning out of control, and they're just wanting to have some tools and some guidance about how to get to where they want to go. People who are needing some motivation, people who are searching for their life's purpose, people who are committed to doing something better, different, to make their life be excellent. The truth is, I think we all want joy, fulfillment, and happiness in our lives. It's very simple. It's not complicated. So it's when it's like you're going along and everything is fine, and then something happens, and day after day you have this nagging feeling that there's got to be more, there's got to be more, there's got to be more. That's where I come in.
Okay, that's great. So, in your experience as a coach, how important is a match between a coach and a client?
Oh my gosh, it is absolutely vital. And there's such an intimacy that you're sharing with each other. In fact, as a coach, I'm sometimes hearing things that my client does not share with anybody else. And the client has to know that I can trust this person to be honest, to be truthful. And truth is something undervalued or underappreciated. And when you're in a place that you can be really honest with the things that you've done, the things that you want to do, the things that you don't like, it takes a certain amount of courage to do that. And so you have to have that symbiotic relationship with somebody to be able to be, it's in essence, being naked in front of a person and being okay with that. And to know that you're going to be held in that vulnerability to say exactly what it is that you want to say, to be who you are and not be judged, to just be accepted, appreciated, to be listened to, and to be cherished in that vulnerable space. And it's only from that space that I think people can begin to make changes.
That's
and
right.
that is very vital for me. So that relationship is key. It's even more important than the techniques that you use, because the techniques become secondary. Again, I come back to the human nature of who we are. And I come from a very heart-centered place. And I think if the heart is not connected, then there's very little else for us to work with. So.
That's great. Could you share with us a success story?
Oh my goodness. I've had several, but the one that just came to mind is a young woman I've worked with for, I think it's about 4 months. And she was at the point that she was feeling unfulfilled. She was feeling creatively stuck. And within that 4 months, she has written a book which has been published.
Oh, wow.
I have never known anyone be so totally focused on their next steps. I mean, that gives me joy, because it's like putting a seed in the ground, and the seed had been germinating and germinating, and I came in and just holding her hands and walking with her to the point of getting that book to publication, and it's done. And that took 4 months. It's totally unheard of for anyone to complete a novel in such a short space of time. It's her very first book, and I am so happy for her.
Congratulations.
Thanks. And the process works.
Yeah, that's great. Well, thank you, Pauline, so much for being with us here today.
Corey, thank you so much for having me. And I look forward to having more people come into your website and me doing more service to more people.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.